My dear Pisces, I see you. I see what you have been carrying. I see the version of you that has been quietly becoming someone new since January, when Neptune, your ruling planet, finally left your sign after 14 long years. And February, when Saturn followed. Two of the heaviest planets in our solar system, both gone from your sign after years of sitting on your shoulders. You are lighter than you have been in over a decade, even if your body has not fully caught up to that lightness yet. July is the month some of that lightness begins to turn into actual life. On June 30th, Jupiter walked into your 6th house of health, daily work, and body for 13 full months. July is the first complete month of this transit. And on July 23rd, your old co-ruler Jupiter, which will be focused on all year, gets help from another important date when Mercury stations direct, releasing weeks of internal review. On July 26th, the lunar nodes shift onto your 12th-sixth axis, your spiritual home and your physical home, making the next 18 months your destiny corridor. And 6 weeks from now, on August 12th, a total solar eclipse lands almost directly on Jupiter in your 6th house. The universe is finally turning its attention to your physical existence. I am Madame Aurora, 35 years studying the stars from my office in Manhattan. And I want to be honest with you, my dear Pisces. July is the month the universe asks you to inhabit a body, not in a punishing way, not in a self-improvement way that makes you feel inadequate. In the gentle way Pisces actually needs. Your sign has spent most of this lifetime living half in the dream world and half in the physical one. Jupiter in your 6th house for 13 months is the universe lovingly returning you to the physical, and the lunar nodes settling onto your 12th-sixth axis from late July is the universe saying, the next 18 months of your soul work happen at the intersection of your spiritual life and your physical body. The two cannot be separated anymore. Stay with me, because what I am about to share will reshape how you walk through the most consequential 6 weeks of your year. Before I take you any further, I want to acknowledge something. Pisces is the most underestimated sign when it comes to physical capacity. The world has spent your whole life calling you dreamy, soft, escapist, ungrounded. So the world has been wrong, my darling. You feel everything more than anyone else feels it, and your body has been holding all of it. Some of you have struggled with chronic fatigue, hormonal complexity, immune issues, mysterious symptoms doctors could not name. Some of you have a complicated relationship with food, with sleep, with substance, with exercise. Some of you have learned to dissociate from the body as a survival strategy. Jupiter in your 6th house for 13 months is the universe's gentle invitation to return, not to perfect yourself, to inhabit yourself. But first, let me tell you about Linda. Linda is a Pisces client of mine from Edinburgh, born in early March, who came to me in July of 2014, 12 years ago this very month, the last time Jupiter had just entered Leo in her 6th house. Since Linda was 52 then, she had spent the previous decade dealing with chronic fatigue that doctors could not explain. She had tried many things. Some helped a little. Nothing solved it. She had also been quietly drinking more wine in the evenings than she wanted to admit, because the wine was the only thing that helped her sleep. She came to me one afternoon and said, "Aurora, I do not know how to live in this body. I have been caring so much for everyone else for so long that I do not remember what it feels like to be inside myself." I told her, "Linda, my darling, Jupiter just entered your 6th house at the very end of June. Mercury, Jupiter's traditional companion, is retrograde in your 5th house through July 23rd. The universe is asking you to do something specific. Use the next 4 weeks to dream about what your daily life would look like if it served your body instead of demanding from it. Do not start a new wellness program yet. Mercury retrograde is not for new beginnings. Use July to plan. Then, on July 23rd, when Mercury stations direct, begin the smallest version of what you have been planning. Not a big change, the smallest possible step. Then, keep stepping for 13 months. She listened. She used July to journal about what her body had been asking her for years. She made a list. Sleep before midnight, walk daily, stop the wine, see a naturopath she had been avoiding, start swimming. The list was long. On July 23rd, the day Mercury stationed direct, she did not start with all of it. She started with the smallest thing. She walked for 15 minutes after dinner. Just that, every night, for 2 weeks. Then she added the morning swim. Then she stopped the wine. Then she started seeing the naturopath. By December of 2014, 6 months after Jupiter entered her 6th house, the fatigue had improved by 30%. By the time Jupiter left her 6th house in August of 2015, the fatigue was at 20% of what it had been. She told me, years later, that the year Jupiter sat in her 6th house was the year she came home to her own body. Not by force, by patience. The same kind of homecoming is now arriving for you, my dear Pisces. Now, before I take you any further, my darling, I want to pause for just a moment. If what I am sharing is landing for you, if Linda's story made you recognize something in yourself, even for a second, tap that little like button just below this video. It is a tiny gesture, but it tells YouTube to bring this kind of guidance to more Pisces souls who are quietly looking for permission to take care of themselves. So many Pisces are at the threshold of their body coming home to them and looking for confirmation that this is real. Your like helps them find this video. And if you are not yet subscribed, this is the moment. July is the bridge to August 12th, and that eclipse on Jupiter in your 6th house will be one of the most physically defining days of your decade. Subscribe and turn on the bell so you do not miss the August forecast. I have been preparing it for weeks. Now let me show you what is actually happening in your chart this July. Here is the month, transit by transit. July opens with Jupiter newly settled in Leo and your 6th house, with Mercury still retrograde in your 5th house, and with Mars in your 4th house giving you steady, embodied home energy. The first week of July is a bridge week. The universe has just changed configuration, and you are adjusting. Things to do: observe. Pay attention to what is happening with your body, your daily rhythm, your sleep, your energy. Notice what your body has been asking you for that you have been ignoring. Notice the small symptoms that have been hovering. Mars in your 4th house through August 11th means home and family matters are receiving steady, slow energy all month. Things not to do: do not begin a new wellness program, sign a new job contract, commit to a new daily routine, or start a new exercise plan in the first 3 weeks of July. Mercury retrograde in your romance and creativity house is asking you to review, not commit. Use the time well. Now let me give you the most important date of the first half of the month. On July 11th, at 5:41 in the morning Pacific Time, Venus leaves Gemini and enters Cancer, your 5th house of romance, creativity, children, and joy. Venus in your 5th house for 3 weeks is one of the loveliest transits for Pisces. It activates the part of your chart that is naturally yours to inhabit: pleasure, play, beauty, art, creative expression. For partnered Pisces, July 11th through early August brings romantic warmth into the relationship. For single Pisces, Venus in your 5th house often brings new romantic interest or rekindles existing flirtations. For artistic Pisces, this is a fertile creative window. Paintings get made, music gets composed, writing flows. For Pisces with children, the relationship deepens. And here is what is significant about this Venus transit, my darling. It happens during Mercury retrograde. So the romance, creativity, and joy of mid-July is best received in private. It is not yet time to launch the creative project publicly. It is not yet time to formalize a new romantic relationship. Enjoy the energy, let it nourish you, but the public action waits until after July 23rd. Wait, before I continue, I need to interrupt myself, because something significant happens just 3 days after Venus changes signs. On July 14th, at 1:44 in the morning Pacific Time, a new moon perfects at 22 degrees 36 minutes of Cancer. In your fifth house of romance, creativity, children, and joy. New moons begin chapters, but this one happens during Mercury retrograde in your romance and creativity house. So this is not a normal new moon, my darling. It is a setting intentions quietly new moon. Not a launch, not an announcement, a planting of seeds underground. I want to be specific here. The Pisces who use this new moon best do not launch new creative projects or formally begin new romances on or around July 14th. They use it to set internal intentions about pleasure, creativity, and joy. What kind of romance do you want to invite into your life? What creative project has been calling you for years that you keep postponing? What does play look like for you now, in your 40s or 50s or 60s, separate from what it looked like in your 20s? Write these answers down on July 14th or 15th. Put the list somewhere private. Then on July 23rd, when Mercury stations direct, begin acting on the list. The new moon is for the dreaming. The Mercury direct station is for the doing. And there is something else about this new moon that most astrologers will miss. It happens at 22 degrees of Cancer, squared by Mars in late degrees of Gemini at that moment. Mars in your fourth house square the new moon in your fifth house means there may be a tension between your home and your pleasure life during the second week of July. Family obligations may compete with romantic or creative time. The right move is honoring both. Give your home the steady Mars energy it is calling for, but do not let family obligations consume the creative and pleasure space you need. Pause for just one moment, my darling. I know this is a lot. I have been putting hours into this video, researching the exact degrees, the exact times, the way the transits actually land on a Pisces chart, because you deserve real guidance, not generic horoscopes. If this is bringing you value, would you do me 3 small things? Like this video. It tells YouTube this matters. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you have not yet. August's video will cover the entire week of the August 12th eclipse on Jupiter in your 6th house, day by day. And that is the most important video I will publish all year for Pisces. You absolutely cannot miss the eclipse preparation. And write to me in the comments. Even one sentence. Other Pisces in this comment section are reading and recognizing themselves. We are becoming a community now. Thousands of Pisces all walking through the same once in 12 years body homecoming together. Come be part of it. Now let me continue. Now comes the most important single date of your month. July 23rd. At 9:58 in the morning Pacific Time, Mercury stations direct at 16 degrees 48 minutes of Cancer, in your 5th house. After almost 4 weeks of internal review, Mercury turns forward. The Pisces who have been dreaming about creative projects, romance, children, and joy during retrograde can now act. The Pisces who have been outlining what their daily life should look like during Mercury retrograde, even though Mercury is technically in your 5th house, can now begin the actual implementation. I want to be clear about how Mercury direct affects you, my darling. Pisces is not ruled by Mercury, so you do not feel Mercury station changes as personally as Geminis or Virgos do. But Mercury direct in your 5th house during a Jupiter in 6th house transit is significant for a particular reason. It allows the connection between pleasure and daily life that Jupiter is trying to teach you. Many Pisces will, on or shortly after July 23rd, finally begin the daily practice that has been waiting. Walking, swimming, yoga, meditation, sleep regulation, cooking real food, drinking water, the smallest things. The Jupiter in 6th house transit rewards consistency more than intensity, and Mercury direct unlocks consistency. Things to do on or after July 23rd. Begin the smallest version of the daily practice you have been planning. Send the appointment request to the doctor or practitioner. Schedule the medical test you have been postponing. Start the wellness routine you have been outlining. Sign the work contract if you have been considering one. Make the daily life decision you have been deferring. Things you can finally do without resistance from the universe. The Pisces, who launch a small daily practice on or shortly after July 23rd, arrive at August 12th, with 20 days of consistency already built. The Pisces who wait until August will be playing catch-up to the eclipse. But the timing must be precise. Do not launch a major wellness program before July 23rd, no matter how impatient you are. The cost of premature launching during Mercury retrograde is high. Your routine collapses, your appointments get rescheduled, your symptoms get misinterpreted. Wait the extra week. The universe is offering perfect timing if you respect it. I want to interrupt myself again, my darling, because I need to talk about July 26th, which is one of the most important dates in your entire 18-month period. And most astrologers will not explain what it actually means for Pisces. On July 26th at 9:38 in the morning Pacific Time, the lunar nodes shift signs. The North Node, the point of soul destiny, leaves Pisces and enters Aquarius. The South Node, the point of soul release, leaves Virgo and enters Leo. For the next 18 months, until January of 2028, the eclipses will happen on the Aquarius-Leo axis. For you, this is profoundly significant, my darling. The North Node will be in your 12th house. The South Node will be in your 6th house. These are your two most natural houses as a Pisces. The 12th house is your sign's own natural house. Pisces rules the 12th house. So the destiny axis is shifting onto your own house and its opposite for the next 18 months. And here is what makes this more layered. Jupiter is now in your 6th house, where the South Node will sit. So you have Jupiter expanding your 6th house. At the same time, the South Node is asking you to release something about your 6th house. What does this mean practically? The North Node in your 12th house, from late July, is asking you to deepen your spiritual life, your inner work, your time alone, your dreams, your intuition. The South Node in your 6th house is asking you to release something about how you have been doing daily life. Over-functioning, over-caring for others, over-serving, over-disciplining yourself. The Pisces work for the next 18 months is serve less, dream more, move more, perform less. Care for your own body more than you care for everyone else's. Let the spiritual life, your natural home, be the foundation, and the physical life become the embodiment of it. The two work together, but the priority shifts back toward the spiritual, even as Jupiter expands the physical. The full moon on July 29th at 6 degrees 53 minutes of Capricorn falls in your 11th house of friendships, groups, communities, networks, and income from career. A friendship matter culminates. A community decision is made. A group involvement reaches its peak. A networking situation resolves. An income matter from career through community sources reaches clarity. The 11th house full moon, combined with Mercury direct and the lunar nodes recently shifted, makes the final week of July one of the most concentrated weeks of your year. Pay attention to who shows up in your life and who does not. I want to stop for a moment, my darling, because I know I have been giving you a lot. Let me make it simple. 3 dates to remember this month. July 14th, your creativity and romance intentions. New moon. July 23rd, Mercury stations direct. The universe says, go. July 26th, the lunar nodes shift onto your most natural axis. Those 3 dates are the spine of your month. Everything else is texture. Let me give you the week-by-week breakdown briefly. First week, July 1st through 7th. Jupiter is settling into your 6th house. Mercury is still retrograde. Mars is in your 4th house. Use this week for observation. Notice what your body is telling you. Do not commit to anything new yet. Second week, July 8th through 14th. Venus enters your 5th house on the 11th. The new moon on the 14th begins your creativity and romance intentions chapter. Write down what kind of pleasure, play, and creative expression you want to invite into your life. The energy is internal, not external. Third week, July 15th through 21st. The momentum is building. Mercury is preparing to station direct. Use the days before the 23rd to do final preparation on whatever you intend to launch or commit to. Outline the daily practice. Schedule the appointment. Make the list. Fourth week, July 22nd through 28th. The portal week, July 23rd. Mercury direct. The universe says, go. July 26th. Lunar nodes shift onto your most natural axis. Begin. Implement. Send the appointment. Start the daily practice. This is the week to act on everything you have been preparing for the past month. Fifth week, July 29th through 31st. The Capricorn full moon on the 29th brings a friendship or community matter to a peak. The final days of the month prepare you for August, which will be one of the most consequential months of your year. Rest. Hydrate. But before I move to your area-by-area forecast, I need to interrupt myself one more time and tell you something difficult, because there is a shadow side to the Jupiter in your 6th house transit combined with the new lunar nodes, and I would not be honest with you if I did not name it. Let me tell you about Catherine. Catherine was a Pisces client of mine from Toronto, born in early March. She came to me in late 2014, halfway through the previous Jupiter in 6th house transit. Catherine had had a beautiful early Jupiter transit. She had started taking better care of herself. She had joined a gym. She had improved her diet. She had even been promoted at work. By all measures, the transit was working. But Catherine made a Pisces mistake, and I have seen this pattern in many of you. She let the new routines become rigid. She started obsessing about her food. She started over-exercising. She turned the gentle invitation of Jupiter into a strict regime that became its own form of suffering. By the end of that Jupiter cycle, she had developed an eating issue that took her years to heal. She came back to see me in 2018 and said, "Aurora." I overcorrected. I built a cage instead of a home in my body. I told her, "Catherine, Jupiter in the 6th house is asking you to live well in your body, not to perfect your body. There is a difference. My dear Pisces, please hear this. Over the next 13 months, you will be invited to take better care of yourself. The invitation is gentle. Do not turn it into harshness. Do not start an extreme diet. Do not begin a punishing workout. Do not measure yourself into smaller versions. Jupiter in your 6th house rewards consistency, not intensity. Walk daily, sleep regularly, eat real food, drink water. That is the entire program. Anything more elaborate is your old wound dressing itself up as discipline. Be gentle with yourself, my darling. You have been hard on yourself for long enough. And there is one more thing specific to the South Node entering your 6th house on July 26th. See the South Node releases. So the next 18 months are about releasing patterns of overfunctioning, overserving, over-disciplining yourself. The Pisces who fight the South Node by tightening their 6th house routines will find themselves exhausted within months. The Pisces who let the South Node release what needs releasing, the rigid schedule, the impossible standards, the way you have been measuring your worth by how much you produce, will find that the Jupiter expansion lands more naturally on a body that has been allowed to soften. Let me walk you through each area of your life now. Briefly, love and relationships. The Venus transit through your 5th house from July 11th brings romantic warmth. The new moon on July 14th begins a romance and creativity intentions chapter. Say the Mercury direct station on July 23rd allows new connections to formalize. For partnered Pisces, July is a tender, warm month relationally. For single Pisces, romantic interest often emerges through creative contexts, art classes, hobbies, gatherings around shared interests. The shadow date for love is the Capricorn full moon on July 29th. Friendship or community matters may surface. Career and work. Jupiter in your 6th house expands work opportunities. Many Pisces will be offered new roles, new projects, new clients during this transit. The Mercury direct station on July 23rd unlocks work contracts and commitments. The Saturn-Neptune work in your 2nd house all year continues to restructure your financial value. The August 12th eclipse will crystallize a work and health turning point. Money. The Saturn-Neptune work in your second house is the dominant financial story. Jupiter in your sixth house expands daily work-related income. Many Pisces will earn more from regular work in the second half of the year. The lunar nodes shifting onto your sixth house may bring income changes through daily work channels. Health, the dominant story of your year. Jupiter in your sixth house begins the 13-month physical homecoming. The lunar nodes settling onto your 12th-sixth axis from July 26th makes the next 18 months your destiny corridor for body and soul integration. Begin the smallest version of your wellness practice on or after July 23rd. Address what has been waiting. The August 12th eclipse will be a major physical turning point, home and family. Mars in your fourth house through August 11th gives steady, slow energy to home matters. The Pluto in your 12th house continues the long, deep transformation of your spiritual life, which often indirectly affects family. Now, my darling, take out your journal and your favorite pen. I want to give you a ritual you can do on July 23rd, the day Mercury stations direct, and you can finally begin the body homecoming. This is your daily life initiation ritual. Mercury stations direct at 9:58 in the morning Pacific Time on July 23rd, 12:58 in the afternoon Eastern Time, 5:58 in the afternoon London Time, and 6:58 in the evening Central European Time. Do the ritual at the exact moment of stationing, or as close to it as you can. If you cannot be available at the exact moment, to do it that evening. Find water. Pisces is a water sign, my darling. Water is yours. Run a bath, or sit by the ocean, a river, a pond, or fill a large bowl with water and sit beside it. Light a single soft purple candle and a single silver candle. Purple is your color, and silver is the color of the moon and your watery nature. Place a piece of amethyst, aquamarine, or moonstone beside them. Burn lavender, jasmine, or sandalwood, your scents. If you do not have these, any soft candle and any gentle scent will work. Get into the water if you have run a bath, or sit by your water. Take 7 slow breaths. Then say out loud 3 times, I welcome my body home. I welcome the small daily practices. I welcome the gentle care I have been postponing. 3 times, slowly. Open your journal. Write the date and the exact time. Then, write the answers to these 5 questions, slowly, with the gentleness Pisces deserves. Question 1. What is the smallest possible practice I can begin this week that my body has been asking me for? Question 2. What wellness practitioner, doctor, or healer have I been postponing seeing that I am now ready to schedule? Question 3. What work or daily life commitment have I been postponing during Mercury retrograde that I am now ready to formalize? Question 4. What is the one creative or romantic intention from the new moon that I am now ready to begin acting on? Question 5. When the August 12th eclipse arrives in 19 days, what do I want to have already begun, so the eclipse confirms rather than initiates? Sit with each answer. Then commit to one small action. Schedule one appointment today. Begin one small daily practice tomorrow. Make one phone call this week. Mercury direct stations are not for ritual alone. They are for movement. Then place both hands on your heart and on your stomach, one hand each, and say 3 times slowly, I'm allowed to come home to my body. I'm allowed to be cared for. I'm allowed to live well, gently, 3 times. Let the candles burn down while you rest. If you are in a bath, stay until the water cools. Drink water afterward. Sleep deeply. The body homecoming has formally begun. Let me speak briefly about rising signs, moon signs, and Venus signs. If your rising is also Pisces, Jupiter in your 6th house affects body and health for both your sun and your rising. The homecoming is doubly personal. The lunar nodes shifting onto your 12th-6th axis activates your most personal axis. If your rising is Aries, Saturn, and Neptune are in your sign, the slow identity work. If your rising is Taurus, Chiron is in your sign, 7 years of personal healing. If your rising is Gemini, Uranus is in your sign, once in 84-year personal revolution. If your rising is Cancer, the Mercury direct station happens on your ascendant. If your rising is Leo, Jupiter has just entered your sign. Your once in 12 years renaissance and the August 12th eclipse will be on your ascendant. If your rising is Virgo, Jupiter is in your 12th house preparing you for your big year. If your rising is Libra, Jupiter is in your 11th house, community expansion. If your rising is Scorpio, Jupiter is in your 10th house, career elevation. If your rising is Sagittarius, Jupiter is in your 9th house, your sign. If your rising is Capricorn, Jupiter is in your 8th house, joint financial transformation. If your rising is Aquarius, Jupiter is in your 7th house, partnership. If your moon is in Pisces, the Saturn-Neptune exit lifted the deepest emotional weight of your life. July is one of the gentlest months emotionally you have had in years. The North Node entering your 12th house, from your moon's perspective, makes the next 18 months a spiritual emotional destiny corridor. If your moon is in Cancer, the Mercury direct station happens on your moon, and the new moon on July 14th lands on your moon. If your moon is in Capricorn, the full moon on July 29th lands on your moon. If your moon is in Leo, Jupiter sits on your moon all year. Emotional warmth combined with 6th house healing. If your moon is in Aquarius, the lunar nodes shifting onto Aquarius affects your emotional destiny. If your Venus is in Cancer, Venus arrives on your Venus on July 11th, combined with the new moon 4 days later. Your luckiest love and pleasure window of the month. If your Venus is in Pisces, the long Saturn-Neptune exit from your sign has reshaped how you love. If your Venus is in Leo, romance and beauty expand as Jupiter sits in Leo through your 6th house. Compatibility. The 3 signs most aligned with you in July are Cancer, Scorpio, and Taurus. Cancer because Jupiter spends most of the month relating to Cancer transits. The new moon and Mercury direct both happen in Cancer in your 5th house, bringing Cancers into your romantic and creative life. Scorpio because the water trine is your refuge, and Scorpios often arrive as deep. Choose supportive presences during transit shifts. Taurus because the Chiron in your 3rd house since June is healing voice. Taurus voices in your life will say something that begins long healing. Be careful with Aries, where Saturn-Neptune now live in your 2nd house. Aries people in your financial life may bring intensity. Be patient with Gemini, where Uranus now lives in your 4th house. Geminis in your family or close circle may bring unexpected change. And be diplomatic with Sagittarius, where the lunar nodes recently affected your career. Sagittarian authority figures or bosses may make sudden decisions. The sign that will surprise you, my dear Pisces, Leo. As Jupiter sits in Leo throughout July in your 6th house, a Leo will appear in your work or daily life as a generous, warm new presence. A coworker, a healer, a teacher, a colleague who recognizes you. Trust the Leo. My dear Pisces, before I let you go, 3 small things I want to say. 1. If any part of this video has brought you clarity, even one date, even one sentence, tap that like button. It is the simplest way to tell YouTube to bring this work to more Pisces souls who need it tonight. So many Pisces are at the threshold of their body, coming home to them, and looking for permission to be gentle with themselves. Your like helps them find this video. 2. Subscribe and turn on the bell. Next month's video will be the most important video I publish all year for Pisces. The August 12th eclipse on Jupiter in your 6th house is possibly the most physically defining day of your decade, and I am preparing a day-by-day breakdown of the entire eclipse week. You absolutely cannot miss it. 3. Write to me in the comments. My question for you tonight is this. What is the smallest possible daily practice your body has been asking you for, that you are now ready to begin after July 23rd? Just one sentence. Other Pisces in this comment section are reading these words and recognizing themselves. We are building a community here, and you are part of it. I read every single comment, truly. And one more small thing. If you know another Pisces who has been carrying their body for everyone else, share this video with them. You may not realize how much one share matters. It is how this work finds the Pisces who need it. Thank you, my darling. This community is becoming something I never expected, and you are part of it. July 14th, July 23rd, July 26th. Write the dates down. The stars are with you. Jupiter is in your 6th house. The lunar nodes are settling onto your most natural axis. The eclipse is coming. The universe is finally turning toward your body, your daily life, your physical existence. Receive it gently. The Pisces who heal in this transit are the ones who receive without forcing. You have been forced for long enough. Now is the time to be carried. I am Madame Aurora from Manhattan, and I love you, my dear Pisces. I will see you in August for the most important video of your year.